You're about to get the business DNA report, which you'll get after you answer the few questions you're going to get here in a minute. And you're about to know your business archetype. You'll have clarity that 99% of people never get. But now you're probably asking yourself, okay, so where do I actually go from here? Let's just address the elephant in the room. I'm not talking about the most exciting work here, all right? The type of work that probably won't give you that dopamine hit. This is operational work. The boring, necessary layer that determines whether the clarity that you're about to gain actually turns into a real functioning business or quietly fades out. We all know that graveyards are full of unrealized potential, inventions that were never invented, and businesses that were never built. Your business DNA report is going to do exactly what it's supposed to do. It gives you direction that actually fits how you operate, your cognitive profile. But here's what we see a lot of times. Someone gets their business DNA report. They're clear. They're excited. They finally know what makes them jump out of bed every morning. Then reality hits. What stops them isn't doubt about the idea necessarily. Questions that sometimes even Google or ChatGPT can't even answer. How do I cover my bills? How do I fund this? How to make time for this and work at the same time? Do I file LLC in my local state, or I need to file an LLC outside of state? These aren't mindsets problems. These are risk problems. Instead of moving forward, you hedge, you research a little more, then you wait for a better plan. A week goes by, 2 weeks, and suddenly you're not executing anymore. You're comparing advice. Momentum doesn't disappear all at once. It leaks a little by a little through unanswered decisions. Let me clarify this. Clarity, even powerful clarity that you're about to get, can survive long without a structure to support it. It fades without action because they don't have the practical steps that will take you from I know what to do to I have a clear roadmap that takes me from insight to a legal funded operating business. Here's what's really happening in moments like this. It's not procrastination or lack of discipline. I call these microfriction. Microfriction is a small, unresolved decision that each on their own is a simple, solvable problem. But when you put a bunch of them together, they create just enough resistance to stop forward motion. Each unresolved decision adds a little bit extra friction. And friction doesn't stop you dramatically. It slows you down a bit by bit. One unanswered question becomes 5 becomes 20, and then before you realize it, weeks have passed and you haven't made any progress. I want to take you back to my story. The first time I tried to start a food business, I made every one of these mistakes. I didn't understand founding, I didn't understand financial positioning, and I definitely didn't understand business cash flow, that most businesses don't generate money immediately. And I know it sounds simple maybe to you, but to me at the time, I didn't understand that. So I did what a lot of people do when they don't know the game. I put equipment on my personal credit cards because that was the only lever I knew how to pull. Looking back, these sound like simple issues, honestly, but in real time, they completely stopped me because I wasn't just starting a business. I was trying to use a business to rescue me from a bad financial situation, which put me automatically in survival mode. And you can build strategically from survival mode. Every decision becomes like a short-term decision. Every expense feels urgent. You need the business to pay you now, not later. You're in panic mode, so to speak. And it took me about a year to fully understand this and learn how to fix it. And fast forward a few years later, the same person, the same work ethic, but this time I scaled a car rental business from 1 car to 30 in under 2 years. Not because I was any smarter, not because I changed my work ethic, but because I understood leverage, I understood funding, and I understood how to position my personal financial stage before scaling. When I launched the food business again, it worked because I wasn't relying on the business to immediately save me financially. I wasn't looking for a savior business. I could let the tree grow before expecting it to bear fruit. I understood the sequence of events I needed to take before starting that business. I knew how to assess my personal financial position first, and I knew how acquiring capital actually works. Most business education doesn't cover these layers altogether. They either give you inspiration, which is great, but it doesn't really help you when you're trying to choose between real decisions, or they give you tactical advice on just one isolated piece. How to file an LLC, or how to get funding, or how to market, which are all useful, but incomplete on their own. And almost no one talks about the resources that matter most, or how to manage them so you actually succeed. Things like your time, money, emotional capacity to execute. You can do one thing perfectly and still fail because the other three aren't aligned. What's missing is a strategic order of operation based on where you actually are financially today. The 4 Pillars to Millions guide is created just for that. It's the execution layer. It's built around 4 pillars that every real business needs, whether people like it or not. So I go over the first pillar, financial positioning. You can't build a stable business from an unstable foundation. This pillar tells you what stage you're in, whether you're in survival mode, you're stable, or you're in a position to make strategic decisions, and what the best moves actually are for you right now. We dive deep in your most important resources: time, money, and your emotional capacity. Pillar number 2, legal infrastructure. LLC setup, banking, insurance, credit foundation. When it's done properly, it's roughly a 2-week process and a few $100s. Done wrong, costs you months and thousands of dollars. And don't get me wrong, there's a ton of resources online that go over these things, but I wanted the guide to be complete, and I wanted to include this so it's a complete A to Z guide for you. Pillar number 3, model-specific mastery. This is focused on education. Education from people actually built the model that you're trying to build. Whether it's paid mentorship or through relationship building, I dive deep into that and how to foster these relationships. The goal here is to develop real competence and mastery, not surface level knowledge and not endless research. Pillar number 4. This is very dear to me. Funding ladder. How to access capital and when you need it, and which sources make sense at each stage for you. So you're not damaging your credit or missing opportunities just simply because you didn't know the options. The way I like to think about it is as follows. The business DNA gives you what house to build, so to speak. This will give you the foundation for that house. None of it is exciting. I haven't met one single person that looks at a foundation that's being built before the house is built and he goes like, wow, this foundation is beautiful. Yeah, but it's necessary, and you can't build a house without that foundation. The 4 Pillars to Millions is not here to hype you up or make you feel good. It's here to handle the boring decisions once corrected. So the clarity you're about to get doesn't fade, and your momentum doesn't leak slowly over time. You're not going in circles 6 months from now for just these simple microfrictions, so to speak. You already know what to build. Your business DNA will give you that. This gives you the roadmap on how to build it without wasting months and thousands of dollars figuring it out. If that's what you want, you know exactly what to do next. Get the 4 Pillars to Millions guide today for $147. I promise you it's worth every penny. Let's build something that matters. I'll see you on the other side.